safely power your home using a power inverter. Now, whether it's from your car, batteries, solar panels, or a generator, an inverter can be a real lifesaver during a blackout or if you are living off the grid. So let's start with the basic. Now, a power inverter takes DC electricity, that's direct current, the kind stored in a battery, and converts it into AC electricity, now which is alternating current. Now, the same kind that runs your house outlet. So that means that you can use your inverter to power regular household appliances, so your lights, your TVs, your laptops, your fans, routers, and even refrigerators, depending on how powerful your inverter is. Now let's go through the 4 main ways to power an inverter and what to expect from each one. So the first way, using a car battery. Now this is the quickest way to get power in an emergency. Now every car already has a 12-volt battery, and that's exactly what most inverters need as input. So how can you do it safely? First, park your car outdoors. Never run an engine in an enclosed garage. So you want to turn out the car, then connect the inverter cables directly to the battery terminals. So red cable to positive, black cable to negative. Now after you have done that, connecting the inverter to the battery, so red cable to positive, black to negative, you're going to start the car. You're going to keep the engine running, which allows the alternator to recharge the battery while the inverter draws power. Now once it's running, you can plug in a small household items directly into the inverter's outlet or through a heavy duty extension cord. Now a typical car alternator can safely support about 600 to 800 watts continuously. So this setup is good for smaller loads like LED bulbs, Wi-Fi routers, laptops, fan, phone chargers. You want to avoid heavy appliances like an electric stove, your microwave, or washing machine. These will overload the system or drain your car battery quickly. So if you're only pouring light loads, you can run the setup for several hours, especially with the engine idling. Now the second option, using deep cycle batteries. Now if you want a longer lasting power without keeping your car running, a deep cycle battery system is a much better option. Now unlike car batteries, deep cycle batteries are built to release steady power over a long period and may be recharged many times. And these you find used in boats, in RVs, and also in solar systems. Now you can connect one or more deep cycle batteries to your inverter. Now each 12 volt 100 amp hour battery stores about 1.2 kilowatt hours of energy. Now that means it can power a 100 watt device for about 12 hours or a 300 watt device for around 4 hours before needing a recharge. Now if you connect several batteries in parallel, you increase your storage capacity. So for example, 4 100 AH batteries would give you about 4.8 kilowatt hours. That's enough power to power small essentials in your home overnight. Now the beauty of the setup is silent. No engine noise, no fumes, and no fuel. Just pure stored power, but you will need a way to recharge the batteries, and that's where solar or generator comes in. Now a solar system is one of the cleanest and most sustainable ways to power your home. Here it works. Solar panels collect sunlight and convert it into DC electricity. Now that DC power goes into a charge controller which manages voltage and protects the batteries from overcharging. The batteries store that energy. Then the inverter converts the stored DC power into usable AC power for your appliances. Now with a well-sized solar setup, you can power lights, fans, refrigerators, and even a water pump, all without paying a single cent for fuel. So for example, if you have four 300 watt panels and two 12 volt 20 AH batteries, you could generate around 1.2 kilowatt hours per hour of sunlight and store roughly 4.8 kilowatt hours, enough to run several key home devices through the night. Now solar system can also be hybrid, so you can connect them to the grid or to a generator for charge when sunlight is low. Now fourth thing, using a generator with an inverter. A generator-inverter combo gives you the flexibility and also the fuel efficiency. Instead of running your generator all the time, you can use it to charge your battery bank, this is the battery, which then powers your inverter. The inverter then supplies clean, stable AC power to your home, quieter and more efficient than running the generator directly. Now this method also protects your sensitive electronics because inverter power is much cleaner and steadier than the fluctuating current from many small generators. Now when the battery is starting to get low, just run the generator for a few hours to top them back up and then shut it off and let the inverter handle the rest. So here are some safety and best practices while using the inverter. No matter what power source you choose, always keep these safety tips in mind. Never ever plug the inverter directly into a wall socket. That can backfeed power into the grid and seriously injure someone or start a fire. If you want to power your house outlets directly, get a transfer switch professionally installed. To get an electrician to install a transfer switch. Use heavy duty cables that are ready for the inverter's current draw and make sure your connections are tight and corrosion free. Keep batteries and inverters ventilated. These things, they generate a lot of heat and gases during their operation, so you need to make sure it have good ventilation. Also, always check the wattage of your device before plugging them in. Add the total watts and make sure it's below your inverter's rated capacity. So choose the right inverter. For light use, like lights, your laptop and your router, a 500 to 1000 watt inverter is good. For medium use, for like a TV, a fan and a small fridge, 1500 to 2500 watts is good. For larger backup setups, like your fridge, your tools, and multiple rooms, you want at least a 3000 to 5000 watts or more. But make sure your inverter has a pure sine wave output. What is that? A pure sine wave output, not the modified sine wave. Pure sine wave power is cleaner and it is safer for electronics, appliances, and anything with a motor or compressor. So let's recap. So here are a quick summary. 1. A car inverter setup. It is quick for emergency backup and limited runtime. 2. Deep cycle battery setup. It is quiet, it is reliable, it's long lasting backup. 3. Solar inverter setup. It's renewable, off the grid, zero fuel cost. And 4. Generator inverter setup. It is great for extended blackouts and hybrid systems. And we're in Jamaica right now with what's taking place in the western end of the island. This is a good thing to think about, the generator inverter setup. Now with the right combination of inverters, batteries, and charging source, you can create your own personal power system, one that keeps your essential running even when the grid fails. So remember this, plan your power needs, size your inverter and batteries properly, and always stay safe with your connections. That's how you can power your home using a power inverter with multiple energy sources, all working together to keep you comfortable and connected no matter what happens. Have a wonderful day and keep safe out there.